What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing another modification on the 2019 Yamaha Bolt. I'll be changing out the stock handlebars to the Biltwell Keystone Black Handlebars. These are 1 inch in diameter, just like the stock, 5 inches in height. And apparently it comes with its own sock. I don't know, I'm not sure. Then I have the Vans Red Grips I'll be installing as well on these handlebars. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bike prepped and then we'll walk through it step by step. All right, the first thing you want to do, there are 4 zip ties. They are reusable, or you can just cut them off and use whatever you want to use. But there's a tab here, you just lift them up and push them out like so. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the clutch side. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen the bracket for the clutch. There's a bolt right here. It's a 10 millimeter. So as you can see, I've removed the bolt and there is a cable wiring harness that was plugged into here. There's a little tab here. I released that. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the left switch. There's 2 screws that's holding that in. I believe in order to get this off, I may have to slide it directly off of the handlebars, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I got the screws open. This should just pop right out. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back together and put the screws back in. That way I don't lose them. Not that I would. I got them separated pretty well, but just a tip. I want to show you there is a lot of cable management, a cable guide here, so you can just remove this and just let it hang down a little bit farther, get it out of the way. And this is the same for both sides. And this grip is glued on, so I can either cut it or maybe use some carburetor cleaner to get it off. So as you can see, I did get the grip off. I used a carburetor cleaner like I mentioned before. Just spray it down in there, turn it side to side, and eventually it'll work its way all the way through, and then you can just slide it right off. All right, now I'm going to work on removing the bracket for the brake hand lever and the master cylinder. There are 2 bolts here. They are a 5 millimeter Allen. So after you've taken off, you could do this before or after, but here are the front brake light switch connector. There is a brown wire on the right and then a black and white wire on the left, and you just pop those off just like so. And this frees up the brake and the master cylinder, and you can lay it to the side. Obviously you want to cover up anything you don't want to get scratched. And now we'll work on the right switch. So as you can see, I've put the brake master cylinder over to the side with the mirror, covering everything up. You have 2 more bolts, 2 more screws, just like the left for the right switch. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove those. Okay, got the bolts out. Just wiggle the wiring harness and the right switch cap falls right out. Let that dangle right there for now. I'm going to leave this grip on. The throttle by wire is running through here, and what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the risers. That way I can slide from one end, I can slide the clutch out, and then I can slide the throttle by wire out along with the grip. As you can see, it's loose now, but I need a little bit more slack. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the instrument gauge. There is an 8mm bolt on each side, so I'll go ahead and remove that now. Just want to get it out of the way because it's going to make it really difficult to torque the riser to spec. I might be able to use an Allen wrench, but why not just take the extra step and go ahead and take the instrument gauge out. So as you can see, I've covered up the instrument gauge. It is movable, and that's really all I need. There's a lot of cable management with the bracket that holds in the instrument gauge. I don't really want to mess with that, so I'll move it to the sides to get to the bolts. As you can see, they're so much easier to get to. And this is a 6mm Allen. I'm going to go ahead and pop these out. Go ahead and slide the clutch out. I'm going to leave it there on the tank, hopefully. Okay, let's set it right here. Now that gives me the opportunity to slide the rest out. And there you go. Ready for the new bars. Okay, now here's the new Biltwell bars. I'm going to go ahead and slide on the clutch. Now it's time for the throttle by wire. That slides on just fine. So for the right throttle grip, there is a throttle grip tubing, which as you can see, I removed the stock grip. There is throttle cables that connect in here, and I will show you that here. So put your new grip on and then add the cables back in. You just simply slide them in on each side and good to go. Okay, as you can see, I got the grip on. I used a little bit of grease to help slide this on, and as you can see, here's the throttle cables. You basically put them in and then just kind of wiggle it back into place, and then just kind of test it out, see if it's moving correctly, and it is. And then we'll go ahead and put it back on the bike. So as you can see, I got the bars on, and throttle's working great. Switch is on, brake, master cylinder. And don't forget you got the front brake light connection, and brown goes on the right and the black and white goes on the left. So just pop that back on. Okay, I wanted to point out something on the stock handlebars. There is a little notch there, which is for the back of the switch on the left side. And so there was a little dimple there, but I went ahead and kind of shaved it down in order to put it back on put it on the new handlebars, because there's no notch on the new handlebars. So I don't see any significance to it. I checked all the electrical, everything's working correctly. So it was just, for whatever reason, a little notch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it back on and tighten everything down. So I want to correct myself. The notch that I showed you is on the left and right side of the stock handlebars. The new Biltwell bars does not have that notch. You can choose to drill a hole, or you can do what I did, where I just filed down that nub and then installed both switch housings on the new handlebars, and they work just fine. The purpose of that nub was to help keep them in place. Now, can you move them without the notch there on the new handlebars? If you really put some effort into it, you could twist them. But when you're going down the road and you're using your thumbs to cycle through, turn signals, or instrument gauge, they're not going to move. They're on there pretty tight, and they're nice and snug, so you shouldn't have a problem. Not sure how well you can see that, but previously I'd unplugged the wiring harness here just underneath the clutch. Don't forget to plug that back in. All right, I've tightened down the risers. That's 20 foot-pounds. Put the instrument gauge back on, and then you have the cable management on both sides. As far as the zip ties, it's really up to you. I've not put any on, as you can see, but you can adjust these however. I don't really think it needs it. Also, nothing needed to be extended. Obviously, they're not that high up. All right, folks, that's it for this install. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them. I appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and always rip the ride. See ya.